Hello everybody, Gisele Grenier here. In this video lesson, we're going to be talking all about yellow. So I'm going to bring out my color wheel here. So we've gone through a whole bunch of lessons. If you haven't seen them, you need to go back so this will all make sense. When we're in, younger school, primary school, we learn about primary colors and secondary colors. And as we get older, we learn about complements and stuff like that. And the general rule of thumb is yellow and violet are opposite in the color wheel, so they're complements. Yes, that's true, but there's more to it than that because we already know that there's many different types of the color and the way it shifts on a color wheel. So although yellow, neutral yellow, is opposite in the color wheel to violet, yellow-orange is opposite the color wheel to, let's say, a more blue-violet, whereas a yellow-green is opposite the color wheel to more of a red-violet. All right, so we're going to be exploring that in future lessons, but today we're going to be talking just about yellow. So I brought out some yellows to keep this simple. So what you need to do is pull out all the yellows that you have and keep it under 10, and if you need to choose the best quality ones. And ideally, if the ones that have the color index information on the back, that's the best. So what I have Hansa Yellow Medium, and I'm using the Decor Traditions paints. So Hansa Yellow Medium, which is PY73, Hansa Yellow, which is PY74, Hansa Yellow Light, which is PY3. Okay, these are all semi-transparent. Yellow Oxide, which is PY42, it's opaque. Transparent yellow iron oxide, which is also PY42, but it's transparent. And then over here, and these are colors I don't use a lot. I spilt some paint. I don't want to get it on my chart. So what I have is nope, that doesn't belong there. I have Yellow Deep, which is PY139 and PBR7BS. We haven't gone through the neutrals yet, but this is basically burnt sienna. And then we have Derelid Yellow, which is PY83, and then Indian Yellow, which is PY139, these colors here. So I'm going to give you a pop quiz when it comes to Indian Yellow. And if you've done my color mixing courses already, you know what I'm going to be asking. So along with the standard process of anytime you're bringing out your colors, especially if you've got new colors that you have, you need to make a color swatch. So what we're going to do is we're going to take all the colors, put them across, and we're going to add white to bring them down so we can see the true underlying color. So I'll do a couple in real time, and then I'll speed up the video because the process is the same. So I'm going to go on to Hansa Yellow Medium. Now Hansa Yellow Medium is a yellow that leans towards orange. Oh, and I need to bring up my color chart again. Hold on a second. And I didn't put any white on the palette. So it leans towards orange on the color wheel. So it's right about here. And depending on what brand you have, when you add the white to it, let's just show you how to do that. When you add the white to it, just load the white on the dirty brush. You'll be able to see the true underlying color. And that's what's going to help you place it on the color wheel. Because you're going to ask yourself the question, okay, what color is this? What hue is this? It's yellow. Where does it lean on the color wheel? Towards orange or towards green? And that's going to tell you where it goes. Okay, so what color is it? It's yellow. And where does it lean? Towards orange or towards green? That's all you need to ask. Then Hansa Yellow is more neutral, and then Hansa Yellow Light leans more towards the green side. And in between each mixture, you're going to wipe your brush. So this is just Hansa Yellow. It's a neutral yellow. And depending on what brand you use, it may look different, may not look different. That's up to you. What you want to use. Add a lot more white to this. Now, although this is more of a neutral yellow, if I had to choose what side it leaned on the color wheel, I would say towards green. Now, one of the nice things is on video, and yellow is one of those colors. What I see in the monitor, this looks green. Looks really, really green. And then we have Hansa Yellow Light, which definitely leans towards green. So this is why you don't need a ton of yellows. you can really shift them easily, which is what we're going to do in an upcoming lesson. Oh, that didn't go very far. The tinting strength isn't that strong. Okay, which is why you really should use the best quality paint that you can, so you're not wasting. Now, yellow oxide is an opaque pigment. Now, these four here are in, sorry, let's try that again. Handsy Yellow Medium, Handsy Yellow Light, and Yellow Oxide are in my core palette, my limited palette. Handsy Yellow is in my extended palette, so I have it. I don't use it a lot, but I have it. Whereas Yellow Deep, Derelict Yellow, Indian Yellow, I rarely use. And I mean rarely use that. I don't remember the last time I used it. Okay, blot the brush, pick up white. And yellow oxide is a really nice yellow. It's nice when painting portraits, a base for portraits, when you add it with, let's say, Naphthol red light or cad red light. If you were using cadmium colors, let's say you're working with oils, you would use cad yellow medium, cad yellow, and cad yellow light. Now, transparent yellow iron oxide is the same pigment as yellow oxide, except it's transparent. I love this. And if you guys follow me, you know that I use this a lot in steampunk art. I haven't been able to replicate this color very well with my resin jewelry, because it's a single pigment and you can never completely match it. I just rinsed my brush for some reason. Can't talk and paint at the same time. Now, because it's transparent, the white just kind of obliterates it. Let me add a little bit more paint. So anytime you add white to something transparent, the white takes over. So you could use this as well in portrait painting if you use something more subtle. It's a lot less orange than this one. Now we go with Yellow Deep. This is a very powerful pigment. Now, some of you may really like it as part of a core color. There are some colors that you're going to really like, unless you have a particular painting style. A lot of the colors that you have, you'll never need to use, but that's going to be up to your style. And when I look at this, I see this as much more orange. Try to get a bit more paint in there. There we go. So all the yellows will either lean towards orange red, or will lean towards yellow blue, green blue. Okay, so then we have Derelict Yellow. Another very powerful, oops, I got water here. Another very powerful yellow. Very strong. In my painting style, I don't do a lot of the strong colors. I like stuff a bit more subtle. Unless I'm doing stuff like for abstract, or I'm teaching an abstract, or doing something related for kids and stuff like that. I don't use a lot of the bright colors. Like, look at this one. Whoa! Okay. And this one leans a bit more towards orange. The only one that I see that leans towards green is Handsy Yellow Light, and maybe Handsy Yellow, Indian Yellow. So for those of you that really like doing research, pop quiz for this one. How was Indian Yellow originally made a gazillion years ago? How was it made? And you're going to go, ew. It's a beautiful yellow. It definitely leans towards orange. Okay. So there we go. So we have, these are all the yellow, other than, I think I have a primary yellow as well in the media fluid acrylics. But I use that stuff for mixed media. This is more for the fine art stuff. But so all of these, this one here is the one that leans towards green. This one a little bit, tiny smidgen. That's why I like it as a neutral. But everything else tends to lean more towards orange. So when would you use these? Well, looking at these right off the bat, these ones right here, I immediately think of people portraits. I think of this one here, Sandy Beach. Flowers, of course, that's a given. Sunshine, highlights on mountains, maybe if you want to do a sunlit something. The silver lining, sometimes when you have the sun coming through and it's kind of a yellowy, you need something really intense. That might be nice as pure here. So it's up to you how you want to identify what colors you can use. But again, you don't need all these. You only need the primaries. But primaries, which primaries? A primary that leans towards one side and a primary that leans towards the other side. That's really all you need. But you'll have your own painting style to, choose your core colors. So for this exercise, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to bring all your yellows and choose the top 10 that you have. And you're going to put the paint on. You're going to write the name, write the pigment number if you have it. You're going to put pure swatch, and then you're going to add white. And if you can, create a value scale all the way down. So this, then add more white to the brush, then add more white to the brush, and add more white to the brush, and see how far you can take it. Because when you have all these different swatches, you get a better understanding of what you can do with the color. And then with this, as we go through learning more about yellow, you'll get to pick the 2 or 3 yellows that you want in your limited palette, because that's essentially the goal, is for you to have a limited palette of colors so you can have the best quality paints you can afford, a very limited amount of paints, and you'll get thousands and thousands and thousands of colors. And just think, wouldn't it be nicer to be able to have, 10 to 15 really good quality paints instead of 300 pieces of crap paint? I don't know. For me, the choice is, better quality stuff. All right. Okay, so you have your pop quiz as to where Indian yellow came from. You got your homework assignment to create your chart. And what you're going to do is you're going to, if you're watching this on YouTube, click the link in the description below to either the community or the Facebook page, and you're going to post your photograph there and any questions or comments to be answered there. And I just drew a blank. Oh yeah, the community. So you're going to click the link to the Facebook page or the community. You're going to post everything there. That's where I'm hanging out for the color mixing course and challenge. I am not hanging out on YouTube because you can't post charts there. I'm only hanging out over there because we can post charts and it's much easier to answer questions when I actually see what you're referring to. Alrighty, so get to it. And until I see you in the next lesson, stay inspired.